Hey everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my channel. Today we are all about Dollar Tree vinyl placemats. For this one, you're going to be using an 8x10 stretched canvas from Dollar Tree. We're going to be using this Dollar Tree placemat today. I'm just testing it to see how it bends here. And for this project, removing the stickers on the placemats is definitely not negotiable. You have to have that sticker off. And now we're going to go ahead and take the canvas and the placemat and we're going to wrap it around the canvas. This is a super easy DIY. You just need a staple gun, a canvas, and a Dollar Tree placemat. You could even use a fabric placemat and wrap it around. That's it. And I did a Halloween one with a pumpkin and I used the Dollar Tree see-through cutting mat, which is very customizable. I put a pumpkin on it, but you could put fabric on that. You could print something up. I mean, you literally could make this however you want. And you just make sure you're stapling it down on the top, bottom, and maybe a couple in the middle, and that should do the trick. And you don't even need to put a hook on it because the canvas already has the wood frame. So it's got that little ledge there and it's ready to go as far as hanging. So when you turn these over, you do have to reshape them, but they look so high end. There are so many possibilities. But if you're going to put it somewhere wet like a bathroom, you're going to want to screw in there. Like what I did with one of them is I used a towering block and then I screwed a screw through it. And I had like a little hook and the little push lights have a handle in the back. And you can actually hang them so they won't fall off. So you can do it that way too. But look at how gorgeous this comes out. It is such a great, easy thing to do. Let me know what you think. So I'm working with this Dollar Tree vinyl placemat here, and I'm going to roll it into a cone. Now I knew because it's vinyl, there's no way this is going to hold outside with glue. I'm even sketchy about E6000 to be honest, because these vinyl placemats, they want to roll in the opposite direction. They want to go flat again, and they're super slick. So I decided to take these paper brads. I got them from Amazon. I will leave the link down below in the description, but I decided to go ahead and just use those to push through. So I just punched a hole and then I'm just pushing one at the top. And then you got to kind of like roll it at the bottom and make sure you're keeping the shape of the cone while you're doing it. And then you're going to put another one in at the bottom. And yes, I did decide to go ahead and remove the sticker with a blow dryer again. Came right off, no problem. But this wasn't quite sturdy enough and I couldn't get the hole puncher into the middle. And I actually discovered that if I just took these really sharp tweezers here and poked a hole, it was better because the holes were smaller and the brad was guaranteed to cover the hole. So I went ahead and I added another one in the middle at the back there. And then I add another one at the bottom, right next to the bottom one, just to make sure that the bottom of the cone kept closed and kept its shape. So I was going to leave the back of it on because that still would look cute. You could even paint the inside or cover it with fabric or cover it with another complimentary vinyl placemat. But in the end, I decided I just wanted this to be a regular cone shape. So I go ahead and start cutting off the top and making it all nice and even. So this next step here to attach this beaded handle, this is trending online. I've seen it all over the place. I thought it was so cute, but it's usually done with the Dollar Tree woven placemat. It's like a faux woven one. I think it's still plastic, but it's supposed to look like it's woven. And I decided to do it with the vinyl placemat to prove that you could do it with the vinyl placemat. And this is going to be outside on my daughter's door. And it's going to be exposed to humidity and then really cold freezing temperatures and everything in between. So just to make sure that this stays together, I opted to use no glue. Pretty much the whole thing is held together with the brads and now with the wire, which I ended up kind of making like a hair, like a bobby pin, those bobby pins you put up, in your hair when you want to wear it up. They're just like a little loop, like a skinny horseshoe. And I kind of treated it just like the paper brad. I just ended up, it's a 16 gauge wire, and I just ended up twisting it around once and then spreading it out like that, and then trimming the little ends in the back, but you're not going to see the back. And that's how I attached the handle. And now I'm just filling it up with some really pretty white florals that I got off of Amazon. I will leave the link down below in the description box. And I wanted to fill this up pretty chunky because I wanted it to be heavy so it doesn't blow away while it's on her front door. It is behind a storm door, so it should be okay. But, you open the storm door, and if it's windy, I didn't want it to go flying, so I just wanted it to be sturdy. So it's really heavy right now because of all of those flowers. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a bow for it. So this is Dollar Tree fabric right here, and I realized I had it in my stash, and that it's more or less the same colors as the placemat. So I thought, this is going to be nice. It's got a splash of yellow in there too, but I just start cutting it in strips. And what we're going to do is make a messy bow. And I also added some burlap. I got the burlap from Walmart. It's really cheap per yard there. At least it was the last like 6 years. I always say that. I never know if it's going to change, but it's very reasonable at Walmart. And then this is it. This is a messy bow. You just start putting your fabric however you want it. And you don't have to do a messy bow. This is just what was vibing with me that day. And I ended up taking some Spanish moss, kind of thinning it out a little bit and making it a bit scraggly looking, where it was kind of like hanging down a little bit. And I wanted to include that on the front of the bow. So I did that. And to tie it on, I grabbed some lace from a lace curtain that I got from Amazon. It was a really good deal. It was like under $10 for 2 full panels that went to the ground. Tons of lace. Some of you came on and said, hey, you can also get cheap lace at the thrift store. Look around, because it's definitely, if you never want to buy it just straight up from the fabric store, because it tends to be very expensive. And here I decided I wanted some long ribbon hanging off. So I just looped it, tied it with some white string so that I could glue it in the back and kind of spread it out a little bit. And of course, we're making the ends of it prettier. I wanted to trim those. I didn't ducktail them or anything. I just trimmed them sideways. And then I glued my bow on. Now this part, I did take a stapler and actually staple the back of the fabric where you won't see it to the placemat, because again, it's going to be outside and I don't want it, to fall apart. And that's pretty much it. I love the way this came out. Let me know what you think. I'm using these 2 bigger mason jars from Dollar Tree, but you could use any size jar you want. You could even use free spaghetti jars for this, or mayonnaise jars. Next, I'm going to use this vinyl placemat that I have left over. I've already done another craft with a little bit on the end, and I thought I'd use it for this. So the first thing I did was I cut off the jagged edge because we can't use that. And then you also have to cut off the other end with the curvatures on the corners right here, because it's kind of wasting, but there's nothing you can do because you can't use that part for this project. So once you have this, then you're going to need to find your center. And I did that by folding it in half. And then I just pushed it down and creased it. And I knew once I made the crease, I was probably going to lose it when I laid it flat back down into the cutter. So I took one of these pencils. They're the kind where you push the lead up, not the kind you sharpen. And I just kind of colored in the crease so that I wouldn't lose sight of it once I start cutting. Next, I'm going to make sure I have my center, and then I'm just going to cut straight up on my cutting board. And here are my 2 even pieces right now. And it doesn't matter if the stripes match up or not. That's not important, because it's kind of neat actually if they're different, I think, because it gives it a little bit of character. However, they do need to be straight. And I just want to take a moment to say that you can use a blow dryer to get the stickers off. That's what I did. I just melted it and they come right off and they don't leave any residue. And then comes the easy fun part. You're just going to take those pieces and curl them up. And because these want to lay straight, there's resistance. So once you gently curl them up and you pop them in there, you can see it was like a spring action. It just kind of went boop against the edges. And I'm using this little stick just to make sure everything is kind of even in there and that all the tension is in the right place. So it's pushed up against the edges. But this gives you like a total, like you don't have to paint, you know what I mean? So many people used to paint stripes on their jars and you literally can just do it this way and look at the cute results you get. And oh my gosh, there are so many choices of different vinyl placemats that you can stick in the jars. You can change out the looks, but this just creates a really cute mason jar that is completely hands-on because you won't chip off the paint or get it stained. You can wash it. It's waterproof and the possibilities are endless. So what you see me doing now is just gluing some burlap ribbon on the top rim to cover up the little grooves where a lid goes on. Plus I think it looks finished this way. And I'm just using regular hot glue and I did both of them. This is what they look like when they're done. And then I'm just going to pop some of these yellow flowers in here. I thought that was a nice splash of color, but I think these came up so pretty. And again, the possibilities are endless. So last time I was at the Dollar Tree, I picked up these Dollar Tree signs during Easter. They're extra big rounds. They have the wood beads on top, and some came with eggs on top, and some came with these little carrots, which I thought were adorable. I'm going to use those in the future for another craft. And they do have staples in them. So I have a really cool stapler remover. Link down below in my description box. I actually got it for carpet staples, but boy, if you can get carpet staples out, you can get anything out. Like I actually took out the staples from the Dollar Tree canvas once. It was awesome because of that tool, so highly recommend. Now I custom mixed some paint. I put 2 drops of green in. I only showed 1, and I just put it in some white paint. I wanted it a nice light green. Then I hit it with a blow dryer until it was dry, and then I put the masking tape on top of the green paint to get another clean line because we're going to paint the bottom half of this sign white. And we are just using white acrylic paint. Any acrylic paint will work for this, and I did need only 1 coat. So I'm going to take these little flower shapes out of the placemat. It's right there. I'm circling it so you can see it's that shape right there. And I'm going to cut out as many as I can. And what worked really good for this project was to get the shape of the little flower petals and then cut them in a square. You can see in the upper left-hand corner right above my left hand, they're little squares. That just made it easier. I think I was able to get about 10, maybe it was 9 out of the placemat. Now, that's because when they go through the factory and they pre-cut these, they cut through the actual shape that I'm after. So it wasn't a complete shape. So you just cut out as many as you can. And for this project, I had plenty. These are some really pretty stickers that I found at the Dollar Tree about a year ago. I don't know if they're still carrying them, but I thought they were perfect. They have like little vines on them. And then I just spelt out the word happy, and I'm going to put home underneath. I was limited on what I could spell out, and that was all I could think of that was cheerful and would be perfect for summertime. Let me know down below if you can think of some other phrases there. We only have 2 of each letter. That was the problem. And when I found these, they were sold out. I only got 1, so that was it, you guys. Happy home, but it's so cute, so I figured I'm going with it. So now we're just going to go about gluing these down. There's 4 petals, so I put the first 4 down and then I crisscross it and put the other 4 down. And then I have these really cute little buttons that were kind of yellow in the center with green. I thought that was perfect for a summer flower. And then the next thing we're going to do is put a bow on it. Now, the right side underneath Happy Home was really blank and I didn't like it, but looking back, it would have actually been a really good look for the minimalist look. So if you're try saying that one fast 3 times. If you're a minimalist, then I would stop there. But I'm just a bow girl, so I went ahead and I used some of the burlap ribbon that I had, and I made like just loops and I crisscrossed them, and then I used the gingham print from Dollar Tree, and I made a little bow and I glued that in the center of the burlap bow. This was definitely a fun one to do with the Dollar Tree vinyl placemats. I made a template right here. I used a free envelope because that's just what I had laying around, but kind of cheesy, but it worked. And of course, we're going to go ahead and remove that sticker. So I laid it down with the curves on the corner and thought that might help a little bit, but I think in the end, I ended up cutting it all the way around. So you don't really have to put it on the corner like this. And I taped it down using regular masking tape from Dollar Tree. Then I turned it inside out, and I'm going to be creasing it on the fold right there. This isn't as easy as it looks. This is a really stiff placemat, really hard to fold, so I did end up using the edge of my scissors just to make sure I got a good crease and that it would stay in that position while I was cutting. And then I cut it out. Next, I bent it open, and then I bent it in the opposite direction again, so it's facing, you know, where the inside is facing the inside. And then I'm going to go ahead and use these clips to hold it in place so it doesn't slip around. And then I'm just going to take a hole puncher and start punching holes all the way down the side and at the bottom. We're using these paper brads again, they're brass. And I'm going to go ahead and stick them through each one of those holes. Now, when I made this, I hadn't yet poked holes, I was punching holes. You really don't need to punch holes, poke holes. It's easier. And I didn't measure ahead of time. I do recommend you measure. It came out cute. I love this, but I didn't get the spacing perfect at the bottom. But we just made an eyeglass case. And I love this one. Let me know what you think. If you had as much fun as I did today, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, here's another one I think you'll enjoy watching next.